Hi, friends. Today we're on chapter 4 of Dragons in a Bag. Ma slams the window shut before snatching the mashed up box off the counter. She tucks it under her arm and spins around to face me. I thought I told you to read a book. I opened my mouth to reply, but then I realized Ma doesn't expect me to say a word. My cheeks tingle with shame as I stoop to pick up the dented bread box. I set it on the table and then shoved my hands into my pockets to keep them from finding any more trouble. I opened my mouth to tell Ma that I'm usually a very obedient boy, but no words come out. I almost never break rules at home, but things feel different here. I feel different here. I want to ask Ma a dozen questions, but the stern look on the strange old lady's face tells me I better keep my questions to myself for now. Ma prods me in the back with her cane, so I walk out of the kitchen ahead of her and into the dark hallway. In the dining room, I see an old fashioned phone in the center of the round table and notice there's no cord attaching it to the wall. Did you make your phone call? I ask. Ma just dumps the damaged box on the table and swats me on the butt with her cane. Go find a book, boy, she says with a nod in the direction of the living room. This time I do as I told. I figure maybe if I don't break any more rules, Ma will tell me what's inside the box from Madagascar. I didn't notice when I first got here, but one entire wall of the living room is covered in bookshelves. Problem is, it's so dark and I can't read the titles. Can I open the curtains? I ask, but Ma's busy rifling through her purse and doesn't respond. I'm relieved when the mysterious box jumps a couple times. Whatever creatures are inside are still alive. But then Ma mashes the box with her fish. They whimper before growing silent and still once more. I'm so busy staring at the mangled box that I don't realize Ma is watching me. I jump when she says, "You found a book yet?" I turn my head so I'm facing the wall of books. "No, Ma. You need to come over there and pick one for you." I quickly shake my head and peer at the spines of the books crammed onto the shelves. Ma starts digging in her purse again, and I hear a few curse words come out of her mouth. I can't tell exactly what she's muttering, but I do hear one name over and over again: Elroy. I wonder if he's the old friend who lives in Madagascar. I wonder how Elroy would feel if he knew how Ma was treating the gift he sent. The books on the shelf all look old, smell kind of musty. There's no dust on the shelves, but I get the feeling these books haven't been read in a mighty long time. The words on the spines are printed in faded gold ink so that I can barely read. I tug open one of the heavy blue curtains so that a bit of light slips into the dark room. One thick green book immediately catches my eye: The Wondrous Lizards of Madagascar by Elroy Jenkins. Could Ma's friend Elroy be the same Elroy Jenkins? Just as I pull the heavy book off the shelves, Ma calls out, "Come here, boy." I check to see whether Ma's holding her cane before I take a few steps forward toward the dining room. Ma's actually smiling, and her cane is safely hooked over the back of her chairs that circle the table. It looks like she's dumped everything that used to be inside her purse onto the table. But the biggest surprise is that the stamp-covered box is open. The four cardboard flaps have been pushed back to reveal a tangle of shredded paper strips. Whatever's inside that box was packed with care. Hopefully, that means the creatures inside are safe. When Ma sees me eyeing the box, she moves her empty old lady purse in front to block my view. Then she brightens her smile and asks, "Want a mint?" After a terrible peanut butter sandwich, I could usually use a breath mint, but I nod only so I have an excuse to go back into the dining room, get a closer look at the box. I clutch the book to my chest with one hand while holding the other out for a mint. Ma pulls a small red tin from the mess on the table. She shakes it, flips the lid over, and dumps all the mints into my outstretched hand. I only want one," I tell her. "Put the rest in your pocket," Ma says. "I need this tin." Then she blows the minty white dust out of the empty tin and tells me to turn around. "Why?" I ask as I deposit more than 20 mints in my pants pocket. "Just do as you're told, Ma." A boy, Ma snarls at me, "and close your eyes." I take a quick glance at the box on the table before doing as I'm told. If I want Ma to trust me, I have to follow her rules. For now, at least. "No peeking," she says as she warns with a small, sharp poke to my shoulder. I squeeze my eyes shut and listen as Ma rummages in the box before snapping the tin shut. Can I turn around? I ask. Ma responds by shoving me in the direction of the living room. Go read your book. I turn around and I turn around instead and try to get a look at the table. The empty box is on the floor, and the nest of shredded paper sits atop a jumble of things Ma dumped out of her purse. The mint tin is small enough to fit in the palm of Ma's hand. What could she have put inside? I search for a reason to linger in the dining room. So, have you read this book? I ask. Ma doesn't even look at the book I'm holding. She starts putting things back in her purse, starting with the red mint tin. I know she just wants me to go away and be quiet, but I decide to try again. Looks interesting. It's by someone named Elroy Jenkins. Do you know him? No. Are you sure? His book is about Madagascar. Moss sighs with exasperation. Listen, boy, I never read none of those books. In fact, most of them ain't even mine. I just keep them on that big old shelf because it's easier than tearing it down and putting up wallpaper. I frown. That's not true. Ma stops filling her purse and looks at me hard. Boy, wouldn't you know the truth if it came up and bit you on the behind? That makes my cheeks burn. What's that supposed to mean? Is this weird old lady calling me a liar? Does she think I'm dumb? I'm not the one keeping secrets and acting shady. I probably know more about Madagascar than you do, I blurt out. But Ma's not paying attention to me anymore. She's examining a gold pocket watch that looks even older than her rotary phone. When she sees me watching her, she shuts the antique watch with a sharp click and tosses it into her purse. For such a small bag, it sure seems to hold a lot of stuff. I take a closer look at the clump of shredded paper that used to be inside the cardboard box. Mixed in with the crumpled strips are pearly purple fragments of something that looks like it's been broken. Maybe a dragon egg? Maybe. Ma tries to block my view with her body, but not before I figure out that the clump of paper isn't just packing material, it's a nest. And the purple fragments are broken eggshells. Something hatched inside that box. And the mysterious creatures must be strong to have rocked the box that as they were being born. Yet they're small enough to fit inside Ma's empty mint tin. It's time to stop beating around the bush. I suck up the courage and ask, what did you put inside that tin? If Ma had any eyebrows, they would have hit the ceiling. Instead, her eyes nearly pop out of her head. Never you mind what's going on in that tin, she says in a huff. You ain't here to get all up in my business, boy. I told your mom you could stay a little while, but that doesn't mean you can come in and interrogate me. I want to trust Ma. I want Ma to trust me, but right now, I'm just making her mad. I'm not interrogating you, Ma. I just want to know what's going on. I mean, let's face it. You're acting, well, kind of strange. Ma puts her hands on her hips. I'm acting strange. Who let the squirrel into the house? She's got me there. I look at the empty cardboard box on the floor and try to think of something else to say. Ma thinks of something first. Boy, you better go read that book before I lose my temper. Think you can come in here and mix yourself up in grown folks' business? No siree. You're hard-headed, just like your mama. She didn't listen to me when she had the chance, and now where is she? In court begging some judge to keep a roof over your hard heads. For the second time today, my eyes suddenly start to fill with tears. Don't talk about my mama, I whisper at the floor, but Ma hears me just the same. I'll talk about whatever I want to talk about, boy. I know your mama and a whole lot better than you do. I bet you never expected to wind up here with an old lady like me. But I always knew Alicia would be back someday. She keeps trying to outrun trouble, but life don't work that way. Trouble will come for you no matter what you try to hide. Best thing is to be ready for it, and you ain't ready. I push past Ma and head for the front door, where my bag is resting on the floor. Where do you think you're going? She barks at me. Home, I say, before hefting my bag onto my shoulder. Ma tips her head back and laughs so hard her halo of hair shakes. You ain't got a home, remember? That's why your mama left you here with me. Now go sit your butt down on that sofa and read your book. Or throw yourself a pity party. I don't care. Just stop pestering me. I take a deep breath and flip the lock on the door. No. What? Don't you sass me, boy. You don't want me here, so I might as well go. You're right. I don't want you here. But it ain't personal. It's just that I got business to take care of. So stop making a nuisance of yourself and do as you're told. I have friends, you know. I don't have to stay where I'm not wanted. I put my hand on the doorknob and take one last look at the empty box covered with stamps from Madagascar. When Mama comes back, tell her I've gone to stay with Vic. Suit yourself, Ma says with a sigh. Just as I turn to go, we both hear a low, menacing growl coming from inside Ma's old lady purse. Ma scowls, grabs her cane, and whacks the bag. There's a sharp squeal, and then whatever is growing inside the tin in her bag grows quiet. Ma pulls a chair out from the dining room table and sinks onto it and covers her eyes with her hand. I'm too old for this mess, she mutters. I see my chance and I take it. Before Ma can say another word, I fling open the door and dash out of the apartment. And that's the end of chapter 4, and we'll start on chapter 5 soon.